Hey everybody, Carlos Hart, Zach Hart back for another episode of Shift Up, the show where both of our release clauses are much too high for any other radio program to even think about.
All right, so we're just coming to the end of round 2 of the group stage. How are we feeling?
Feeling good. I mean, just about as good as I felt about round 1.
Yeah, man. I mean, we got the stars going back to back, man. We
Yes,
got
sir.
another brace from Holland, another brace from Mbappe, and a brace from Messi.
And newcomer Cristiano Ronaldo. That was
Amazing.
exciting.
Yeah, that was great. No, happy to see him back on the score sheet. So,
Yes, sir.
bro, I mean, everybody seemed to get their act together. Spain got their act together. Portugal got it together. Like all these teams that we thought were going to deliver ended up delivering besides Belgium.
Before we get into all that, we may as well rapid fire some of the other games that we were keeping an eye out for. All of the host countries are keeping pretty decent form, with Mexico and the US and Canada all winning against their opponents, with Mexico and the US securing their advancements to the knockout rounds. And probably the most notable of the three was Canada, which put 6 past Qatar in a pretty controversial game.
Yeah, man, 6 goals is a lot. I remember it had me on the edge of my seat when David scored that one in stoppage time. I thought Qatar were going to come back 7-6.
Yeah,
Man, they were looking all like we're getting heated.
I know thousands of people placed their bets on that comeback. It was probably
I mean, I did, and I lost, but that's besides the point. Don't waste your money, guys.
yeah, the real winners here are, I think, the people who got to watch the match, because Canada's first win,
Yeah,
can't knock them for that.
that's incredible. I mean, especially after their first performance. Obviously, it was their first tie, right? It's not like they were losing, but I feel like people just kind of lost hope in them. I mean, I did, and then they come around and they make it happen. So like, even though it's against Qatar, I think Qatar is one of the weakest teams I've seen in this tournament. Probably bottom 5.
Moving on to Mexico, I expected this game to have a little bit more back and forth, but Mexico ultimately came out on top. I'm surprised that Korea didn't score, but that's okay because Mexico's moving on, and I think that's great because I think it's cool when the host countries do well. Unless you're Qatar, then
Oh well, yeah. But let's back up real quick. That South Korea Mexico game, what was that center back doing, bro? Like you are 5 foot, like you're no more than 5'7", right? And you're just gonna stand under the ball? You were never winning that header anyway. And yeah, like if we're being honest, the keeper, if you're a keeper or if you've played soccer before, the keeper is 100% calling the player off. Like he definitely said something like keeper or ball or something like that, right? Because I mean, yeah, I don't understand that. Not saying Mexico never deserved to score, South Korea didn't deserve to score, but that's just such a terrible goal to concede. Such a terrible goal.
for sure. It was a fun game against Netherlands and Sweden as well.
Yeah, I mean, what a game, man! Like we got 5 goals from Netherlands, a team that's obviously very very good. But we saw it all come through in this game, especially against a team that's they did pretty good in their first game, right? 5-1. So, and then obviously they get beat 5-1. But no, that group is very, very interesting for sure.
Yeah, I feel bad for them because just by the way they were playing, especially in that second half, which, I mean, it was very unlikely that they were going to come back from the way the Netherlands were scoring. But this is a team that definitely knows what they're doing, and they have a real shot at second place, to be honest. They're definitely a shoe-in for third. I think they can go through. But Netherlands, classic Netherlands, they look good as well.
Yeah. That's the one thing is like they might have like a good third place spot, but again, they lost 5-1. So all that ground they covered from the goal differential from beating Tunisia, it's all gone now. But yeah, no, Netherlands look very strong. I like how they're utilizing Somerville in
Mhm.
particular. I mean, this is his second game with another goal. And so, I mean, they're clearly utilizing their outside backs and their midfielders. And rotating very well. So really, really like the way this team looks. Again, I think there are some teams where the subs kind of they're a little iffy, and I kind of feel that way about Netherlands. But besides that, they brought the intensity, they brought everything. So we'll give them their flowers.
Brazil had a pretty electric game against Haiti, scoring 3 goals and conceding none. Vinicius Jr. scoring 1 and Cunha scoring 2. I think this was definitely the best way to see this front 3, or rather front 2, given that Rafinha is not with us currently. But it was really cool to see both attackers kind of scoring and sort of sharing that burden to score for Brazil.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. I mean, this Brazil team, again, kind of showing up a little bit, right? Haiti is, one of the weaker teams, but still showing up nonetheless. And I don't know, we still have yet to see from Endrick. I feel like if it was Ancelotti score 7 goals and make Qatar come back against Canada, he would have done it.
I think so too.
Like, yeah. Oh man, he's never gonna play him, but obviously he might. But man, it just watching this Brazil team and watching all these stars and even Ronaldo doing his thing again. Like I love those players, but man, one is still missing, bro.
What do we think of Neymar's new role as assistant coach?
Bro, I don't even know what to tell you, man.
That is probably the most ultimate form of disrespect, right? To call somebody up just to not play them over somebody else.
Yeah,
That's equally as, well, maybe not equally as talented, but, just as good for their club over the past couple months.
right. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's an interesting situation for sure. But we know the Brazil team has the personnel to make it far. So they just got to lock in, I guess.
Of course, the scoreline tells one story, but Haiti didn't have that bad of possession or shots. I mean, if you look at the stats, they only had 2 less shots on target than Brazil did. And of course, they had almost half the possession as well. So,
Right.
granted, there's definitely caution that needs to be taken going forward because the tournament only gets more difficult from here. But Brazil, they definitely look strong. They still look strong.
What do you think about France?
I mean, I really like their link-up play with Dembele and Olise and Mbappe. It's just so stacked. Like, what do you even do
Nothing.
against that?
Nothing. Like either way, because if you think about it this way, right? Mbappe, obviously, he's going to score plenty more goals this tournament. Olise is creating so well from the wing, but we all know Olise can still cut in and shoot. And he hasn't really, done any crazy stuff individually, but there's always that fear in the back of the defender's mind because, yeah, Elise is an insane creator, but if you're expecting him to drive at you, then it makes his passes more like they go not unnoticed, but the defender isn't going to be prepared for that as much.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so dangerous. I feel like we have a little more to see from Dembele, but we kind of knew going into this that you have basically 3 wingers up there. Mbappe's been playing striker for a little bit, right? But they're all 3 not going to, be all insane and cohesive together. It'll probably be 1 or 2. I don't know if we can get all 3, but if we do, obviously that's unfair and you guys might as well place your bets. But I think we have a little bit more to see from him, Dembele in particular. But yeah, man, the creation from Elise and Mbappe being able to score some ridiculous goals.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this team needs for sure.
Yeah. At this moment, their toughest challenge yet will be against Norway. And to my knowledge, they will be without their manager, Didier Deschamps. I still think that they can bring it with or without their manager. I just really hope that they'll give us a good show because the Mbappe-Holland debate resurfaces every now and again, even though we're still talking about Messi and Ronaldo, but it'll be fun to see these 2 stars go at it.
Exactly, man.
Trade blows.
Yeah, like you mentioned it, like when we were talking, the other night, it's like, man, we got Norway versus France, Mbappe versus Holland. Like that's a big deal, but nobody's really like thinking
Yeah.
about that because we have a potential Messi versus Ronaldo, right?
Yeah.
So that's just how impactful and influential both of those players have been. But yeah, Norway looks strong. They look really good. They had a huge win. I mean,
Yeah.
ridiculous win against a team that's pretty decent. So I would say that, they do have their flaws. I don't know if you saw the interview, but Holland was like, yeah, we're probably going to lose. But
Yeah, he completely skipped the PR answer.
yeah,
Whatever
literally.
his handler or aide told him to say.
Yep. He's like, hey, we
Just-
made it to the knockouts. If we're probably going to lose, but that's fine.
Yeah, they're both through, and certainly the win against Senegal is that's sensational. I wasn't able to see the entire thing live, but I did not expect them to win, to be honest. I really thought Senegal was going to put one over them. So Spain finally got their crap together, didn't they?
They did indeed.
And Yamal actually started this time. Came
Yep.
off a bit early, but it was nice to see him hamming it up with them for that first half.
Yeah, first start, first goal. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
incredible players do, man.
He's not in the top 5 youngest World Cup scorers ever. He's maybe 7th or 8th. I forget the table, but
yeah.
he beat Messi, I think,
Okay.
by maybe a year or a couple months. But
Right.
yeah, there's still quite a few people in front of him. But he's in the top 10 for sure. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, no, definitely a record breaker. But yeah, no, I liked how that Spain team played, honestly. The one problem with these groups is you'll end up playing a team that's pretty good. You'll end up playing a team that's pretty bad. And in this case, I'm not going to say like they're the worst team in the world, but like that's just a match that you're supposed to win. And it's hard to kind of judge a player off of that kind of match. When the knockout stage comes in, it's going to be just ride or die, because there's no second chance. It's one game, and you can see everybody putting their full, like, everything they got out there, right? Like, am I crazy to think that, like, sometimes we don't see all of that in these games? Like, even in the Portugal game against Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan, I think, is probably the worst team I've seen in this tournament. And Portugal, yes, they put 5 past them, but and sure, they can be as excited as they want, right? But there wasn't even like an intensity throughout the entirety of the match. Like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes the motivation might be a little bit different for some of these games, especially against weaker teams.
It kind of sounds like you want to talk about Portugal. I'm definitely at a point where everything kind of exists in context, right? So if you make a criticism about one team, but they perform better against a team that's still lower ranked and they win, whether it's by 2 goals, 3 goals, 4 goals, however many, I think that your criticism can still stand because, of course, that's not their most difficult test. The tournament's only going to get harder. But the one thing that really surprised me about the Portugal team was the set pieces. I think those were kind of the talk of the town when the game was over. And yeah, I think we're definitely at a place in the game where the set pieces are really interesting. At least in my lifetime, I suppose. But it's like every couple weeks or every couple months you see one that's really creative, and it's like, why don't all teams do this?
Right. I mean, I think you said it right there. Obviously, those 2 set pieces from Portugal were, nobody expected that, right? You could even go back to the last World Cup and how Netherlands tied it up against Argentina. Bro, like, nobody would think of that set piece, right? But it's because you have the personnel to do it. Bruno Fernandes is one of the only people to be able to hit that ball. Like, Uzbekistan is not going to be able to do that.
Yeah, that's literally a
better.
perfect distribution from him to Ronaldo. It's a shame he couldn't put it past the keeper, but I thought the logic behind that was it was really great because before the match we saw the one fake out from Ronaldo to Nuno Mensch, and that's one thing that's not super out of the box, but this time it was like a double fake out kind of.
Yep.
It was Ronaldo first, then Nuno, and then the Bruno assist, which the placement is just incredible. It is against Uzbekistan, but I don't even know how to put it into perspective how difficult that is on the world's biggest stage. Just to have the composure to do that and just place the ball so well. It was really creative. And, even though they didn't score from it, that's definitely a standout for me over round 2 of the group stage.
Oh yeah, and I love to see the improvement so much, like especially after going in, and I mean Portugal was like one of the favorites, to be honest. They're in the top like 5 to win it, and so it's like, after that they knew they kind of had to step it up, and they did. And so we can only look forward to their next game. And yeah, I feel like a lot of times, even in their Congo game, like it's about whether a team wants to play to win or play to get a tie. And Congo kind of played to get that tie. And speaking of playing to get ties, Ghana, what a just defense fest we saw. We had a few counterattacks, but they held England to 0 goals.
The curse worked.
Yeah, bro. Oh, that was crazy.
I know people don't like this style of play, but what else can you do against a squad like England? And also, a really good defense as well as a really good offense are both technically challenging to do. It is easier to defend, I will admit, but pulling it off in such a way, like it's not, there are still things you have to think about, right? But yeah, I do understand the frustration where, England takes a corner or a set piece and there's the goalkeeper as well as maybe 2 center backs or just 2 Ghana players like behind the goal line.
Yeah, literally.
So that, there's less chance of the ball going in. But, England really had a tough time breaking them down. And of course they had their best chance was wasted by Kane, who is still the best center forward in the world, in my opinion. But yeah, it was definitely the curse.
Man. Yeah, that's just the way it goes, man. There were some good chances, and you said, like, obviously Harry Kane did miss that chance, right? That could have brought him back easily, and they probably would have won. But that's not even discrediting the defense from Ghana. They had, I think, 3 clearances off the line from defenders.
Yeah.
And that's not even counting the goalie saves. That goalie definitely probably, I think, deserved, man of the match. But I think in those games, and you might agree as well, if you're up against a team that's so defensively sound, and Ghana was physical, bro, like they were getting in on it, right?
Yeah.
You have to either bait them into getting uncomfortable and drawing a foul, or you have to have individual moments of brilliance. Like we almost saw one from Bukayo Saka where he cut in and he shot. And it was a great shot. It was an amazing save, right?
Yeah.
But it's those that they needed. They needed more individual moments like that, because that's the only way you can break down that team. You know how many corners they had that they couldn't score from?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it was only like I don't even remember who else shot up from outside the box. So it's like you need that in order to win. So you need to have some sort of X factor, some sort of confidence when you play against teams like that, especially in the group stage, because what's going to happen in England's next game? Probably the same thing. So they're going to need to figure out a way to either set up for a counterattack, but I mean, props to Ghana, but something just wasn't really working for England.
What do you make of some of the individual performances besides Kane? Because I know people were kind of going after Madueke, but I don't think he was that bad this game. I think Jude Bellingham was significantly not as good as some of his other teammates this game. And after that, what do you make of the penalty that people say should have been called for Ghana?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was probably a penalty. I mean,
I think so too.
Obviously I can't really speak for something that didn't happen. Like in saying like, oh, the game would have been completely different. Like you don't know if England would have scored at, like you never really know, right? So, in that case, I would say that I think it should have been a penalty. But just because of the circumstances, in the fact that he still played the ball afterwards, he still shot afterwards, just because the play was still going on and they could have scored. I think that's why he didn't call it. But at the same time, I think it probably should have been a penalty, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of individual performances, I had told you that I don't think Madueke needs to start, but Madueke is also very fit. And he can play he can play a decent amount of minutes. And that might be what this team needs. But at the same time, he played better than last game. Than his first game. I think he played a lot better. But again, we didn't see any individual stuff. And I'm not trying to say like, oh, everyone needs to be like Lamine Yamal. Everyone needs to be like Elise. No, like you can have your own thing, right? But if you just dribble at someone just to pass it back, you're only letting the defense settle in more, in my opinion.
I wonder how many people say that there should be some type of goaltending rule in football after this game.
Yeah, bro.
There's no way to enforce stuff like that, I suppose. So.
Yeah, especially with the goal being so big.
Well, I suppose since we're saving the best for last anyway, we may as well get into that Argentina match.
Ooh, Argentina.
Not gonna lie, that was a bit of an off game for them, from what I observed personally. But record-breaking game from Messi, which, as we've kind of said, basically him and Mbappe are going to be bouncing the record back and forth between them the whole tournament, depending on how far they go. But yeah, that was sensational. I know the big thing is people comparing it to when Messi scored his 500th goal against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. The same cutback pass and the same dummy and the same placing it into the far left corner of the goal. It was beautiful, man.
Yeah, I mean, if it works, just do it, man. I mean, he's clearly able to score that shot almost every single time. I think he obviously played well. Like, he played good. I think, is what you were saying, the start, like the beginning, just wasn't clicking. Those first maybe 20, 30 minutes, like, I didn't really see anything happening. And then they got it back. They got it together. McAllister, I don't know what happened. I didn't think he did very well at all. I mean, obviously towards the end, towards the middle, like he was picking it back up, but I'm telling you, it's them in France. Like, I'm not saying, oh, I want another France-Argentina final, but right now, those are the two best teams in this tournament.
Yeah, I just feel like there's, especially against a team like Austria, there isn't really that much you can really say, at least for me, because it's like, okay, they should just do the same thing that they did against Algeria. But, they were probably out somewhere in Kansas City the night before, partying or something. Clearly, nobody else but Messi is allowed to score so far.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm sure if Messi had given the penalty to Lautaro or McAllister or somebody, they would have buried it. But he wanted to save the record for a good goal, something from open play.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did. Yep. But yeah, no, remarkable performance. I mean, he's the greatest for a reason.
No ambiguous yellow-red cards
today. Man. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, not that I could see at least.
Yeah, I can't believe that, bro. But yeah, no, really good week of games. I loved it. I love this time, and I just can't wait till this last, play through, and then we got knockouts. I can't wait, man.
Yeah, same here. I think round 3 is going to be really exciting. I mean, Norway and France is going to be exciting for sure. Can't wait to watch that. I want to see what interesting set pieces Portugal are going to grace my eyes with in a few days. And yeah, a lot of teams are up in the balance, especially for those third place teams. It's confusing, but there's a lot of different ways that these knockout stages can go depending on how people finish in their groups, and especially for third place, since they go to head-to-head matchups instead of goal differential first. So we'll see how that all works out.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you're probably looking at our end screen right now. The best way to support us is to like and share the video.
All the support means a lot. Feel free to join the Discord if you want to engage in more conversation.
Or follow us on Instagram.
Or TikTok.
That's true. We do have a TikTok.
Yeah, we'll link it all in the bio. It's all in the Discord. Join up, and we'd love to talk to you guys.
See you in another week.